Captain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. My name is Dave Juskow. It is mid-July. Nice to see everybody. I hope everybody had a lovely 4th of July. And I hope, except for Catalina, who knows nothing about the 4th of July. Hello, I'm already starting in on Catalina. Boy, did she get angry last week. But hello, Catalina. So nice to see you. Anonymous, how are you? See, Anonymous is right in asking about your exams. Isn't that kind of her? Aunt Judy, it is nice to see you. Oh, Catalina, bad exam today. Again, I say that's impossible. But anyway, hello and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. As I said, this is we do this show to tell you about the Comedy Cellar. The Comedy Cellar down in the West Village, the greatest comedy club on the planet. If you were in town today, and it's got 4 rooms, it plays like 9 shows a night, you'd be able to see Dov Davidoff, Will Savant, and Nathan McIntosh are all playing there tonight, which is great. Hello, Marcy, because a lot of them might be on my show, which is coming up on Monday, July 31st at 7:35. Very important at 7:35, so you don't get confused for the 7:30 show. So that is what's happening with me. If you were in Vegas, you'd be able to see Daniel Simonson, who apparently is just absolutely killer. I haven't seen it yet, but everybody says he is. As long as he doesn't go first, everything's fine. But he's a good kid, and he's going to do all right for himself. And that's the important thing. And that's what's going on in the Comedy Cellar. So let me just, without further ado, bring in my unbelievable guest, our favorite guest. Please welcome once again, Molly Heckerling, everybody. Hello, Molly Schmolly.
Hello. Oh, hello, Dave Juskow.
Yes,
I love the handles that rhyme.
Yes, I figured. And it's very nice. And you look good, as always. I love that little room. It just looks so, again, I get very jealous with windows that seem to have sunlight coming out of them. I just will never understand. I overlook a brick wall as I'm looking right now, and it's just not as fun.
Oh, okay. So you have windows. They just have a shitty view. You're not in like some windowless sex dungeon or something with a clueless
My
poster.
living room overlooks a brick wall, even though if you look to the left, you see the street. But my bedroom has rather spectacular views.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
just I never hang out in there except to sleep, and then I usually close the shade, so don't really get to enjoy it. But that's the story. Hello, Jenny Cone Sanchez. Hello, Ange. And we're just saying hello to everybody. Ange says hello, Molly. And Marcy's
Hello.
really excited that you're here. We got a woo-hoo, Molly.
I would love that you say favorite guest when you really just mean the one with the most flexible schedule, because I have no life.
That is, I think everybody here knows that is not what I meant at all.
I'm just kidding.
I think you are our favorite guest, and everybody knows it, God damn it. So I was just glad when you're available. Believe me, I wish you could come in live when we're in the studio, and hang out and be live with us.
I would love to, next time I'm in New York, actually be in the studio with you, so people know I'm not like, just a really shitty AI or a sentient sex doll or something.
Look, Anonymous just said, no, you're our fave.
Aw, thank you.
See? It's the real thing.
You wasted no time poking the bear with Catalina. I don't even know what the context was that you just came in hot.
Well, I think she left crying last week, so that was her 2 weeks ago. Hi, Jenny. Nice to see everybody. And yes, that's what I do. She's one of those kids. She still goes to college in Chile. And I told her she was like afraid she did bad on her exams. And I told her she's one of those girls that always says, oh my God, I totally failed. And then I know she's going to get an A. And that's all I said. But for some reason that got her very upset. Apparently they don't understand comedy.
How you said it.
Oh, it's how I said it.
Oh, there was unintended stank on it.
Yeah, it's what I do. I am
It's
a
what you do.
see.
You meant that she's an overachiever.
That's what I meant. Yes. I mean, the thing is, she has sent me pictures of her teaching the class. So
Oh.
I don't understand how, if they got somebody to help teach and maybe she's student assisting or being a TA, then how could she fail a class? And she seems like she must be pretty bright. I meant it in the best way, but
Mhm.
it obviously came out wrong. So, you
A
know,
comedian saying something that came out wrong?
yeah, I couldn't
No fucking way.
me. I know it's insane.
I know. I do love your Valley Girl drawl. You pull it off just
Oh
effortlessly.
my God. Thank you.
It's like
But
if Cher Horowitz was a middle-aged Jewish man.
well, I like to do it from Valley Girl, and then play Nicolas Cage in the movie Valley Girl. That chick Julie is so awesome. That's why I always do
I
that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm always Nicolas Cage from Moonstruck.
I didn't like Moonstruck. I think I'm the
No?
only person that didn't care for it.
Oh, that would get you slapped by an Italian woman.
Yeah, people get really upset by that. And look how Jenny loves you.
Aw.
But it's like I don't know why it didn't work for me. Everything seemed I think hi Cammy. Yeah, who doesn't? What's up? She said I love TAs. I assume she meant teachers assistants, but with Cammy, I'm not sure.
She meant tits and ass. Sorry.
No, that's probably what she meant. But I don't know why I didn't that movie just I should have loved every minute. I mean, I have no issues with Cher. I love
So
Nicolas Cage. I love
when it
Olivia Dukakis, but not so much in that movie. I think she's better in Steel Magnolias. She's actually one of my favorite. That's my
what
favorite character in Steel Magnolias, Olivia Dukakis.
was it Vincent Gardenia? Did he just come in and smash the whole illusion for you? Or
I think it was too
Danny
much.
Aiello and his suitcases was too sticky for you?
I think that is the problem. It was too Italian and too forced. And it like I know none of those people have those accents, and I think it was bothering me.
It was sort of like, what era of New York does this actually still exist in? Because I
Yeah.
don't think it was that like dyed-in-the-wool Italian in like the 90s. It's sort of like what cinematic universe is this where we still have the ethnically sort of divided?
Well, Molly,
Um,
that's the exact issue is that when they made that movie, I was living in the city and David Tell was living above the uh, bakery, was it that somebody worked in?
yeah,
Or
the
no,
Nicolas Cage bakery,
yes, the
right?
Nicolas Cage bakery, who I think Cher ended up dating the guy actually working in the bakery. So David Tell's apartment was right above that bakery. So I was in that
Hmm.
neighborhood all the time and no one spoke like that. No
Yeah.
one. So I think maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
So when it comes to Norman Jewison movies, you're more of a Fiddler on the Roof guy.
Um, what else did he do? Then because I'm still on the fence. I'm Fiddler on the Roof only because I don't like the second act. I've got a problem. My sister and I just went to see Funny Girl 2 Fridays ago, and we
Mhm.
just keep complaining about second acts and how much they suck. Because the first act is like, this is the best show ever, like Fiddler on the Roof. You're like singing and dancing, and then the second act just opens with sunrise, sunset. You're already depressed, and then it just gets more depressing. Everybody's gonna get thrown out of town. Pippin, same thing. They got all the quality songs up front. The second
Uh-huh.
act is like
The
just brings it
pogroms
down. That
hit,
should be a
and it's
one-act
just
play. We just noticed there's a lot of problems with second acts. You know, then we were even talking about Sarah Silverman's show, which I saw 5 times now, and I think that's quite a flawless show. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, you know, now that we are talking about it, her character doesn't talk for most of the second act because she's depressed. And I'm like, God damn it. That's fuck. All those happy musicals are all depressing in the second act.
yeah, if you have to, I feel like building in plot inevitably sucks, and raising stakes always sucks, which is why, like, I hate when people are like, "What are the stakes?" And it's like, I don't know. I just wanted to have some fun. Like, yeah, second acts are tough. Like, I smile back, and it's sort of like, yeah, I like the movie before she goes to rehab.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right. I can't believe you
Can I
remember
just
that
live
one.
in the first 20 minutes of the thing
Well,
where
you know,
she's just
but I
doing
smile
blow and
back.
cheating on her
You're
husband?
you know what you're getting into when you go in there, you know. So like Anonymous was just saying she saw Days of Wine and Roses.
I
We're not
love that movie.
expecting that to be all fun and games going in. Like I smile back, we knew. I don't know whether I ever told you that story about I was helping her with the script and you know, she had anal sex in the movie and
Right.
she was like nervous about it, you know. So that was the first day of shooting, I think, you know,
The big
something like
sodomy. You open with the big sodomy scene on day one of shooting.
right. And she was like, you know, eating. I was with her that night before, and
She
she's like,
was
I'm not
eating nothing but sushi, just keeping clean.
very binding stuff. So then I remember she's like, I'm not going to be able to talk to you all week because, you know, I'm going to be, you know, working, sleeping, working, sleeping. So I'm like, no problem. So I called her on the Friday of that day. I left her on Sunday. Monday was the big anal scene. And then I called her on Friday. And then I go, how's the movie been doing? And she goes, oh my God, we filmed such a fucked up scene today. I ended up like fucking my daughter's teddy bear and humping it and
Yeah.
masturbating to it, right? And I'm like, oh my God. She goes, yeah, it was really fucked up. And I'm
Was
like,
that an ad
geez.
lib?
I don't know. I can't remember. But she's
Did
like, yeah,
she and the Teddy just feel right in the room together?
I don't know, but I'm like, God, what kind of movie is this? Because I had only read the little script piece we were working on, and then I had forgotten about the other thing, and then finally at the end, I'm like, oh my God, wait, how did the anal scene go? She goes, oh, that went well. She was like, she was worried about
Tommy
it.
Sadowski. Yeah, Tommy Sadowski seems like a very considerate scene partner.
You
Like
see,
he'll do the soft sodomy.
well, as it turned out, right, she was worried about that, but then that teddy bear scene was actually worse. You know,
because the teddy bear really was an asshole and touched her inappropriately after the fact.
That teddy bear was problematic, and he was a very ungiving actor.
It said some very anti-Semitic things apparently on camera. Also,
Yeah, that's right. God damn it!
Yeah.
But I can't believe you remember that show. I remember I went to I was in the editing too with the people that were doing it, and they were like, oh, should we take this out? And I'm like, take that out, because that's like the best part of not the teddy bear, a different part. And I was just like, are you nuts? That's like the most important scene of the movie, like when she's screaming like, somebody help me, like just when she's in the room. I'm like, that's so important, that's when you know the whole thing turns. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, why are you asking me? I shouldn't even be here. But
I just came to bring her blow and a sandwich. I didn't ask for this responsibility.
I just came to bring her blow and baby wipes. Jesus Christ, you people are awful.
And her donut pillow.
But that movie
I love her. She's amazing.
She's
She's
all right.
just one of my favorites. Just
I've seen better heads than a mug of beer. There was some. Oh yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. A couple things I want to get to. First of all, some people have been mentioning the thing I did with Mark Norman this week. I don't know if you saw it, Molly. I did. I bought the clip. If those of you want to see it, it's to promote his Netflix special. And Mike, do you want to play it?
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, my friend.
Hey!
What can I get you?
Well, I just shot my Netflix hour. I gotta come up with a name for it, but for now, let's eat. What do you got today?
Oh, I don't care. There we've got immigrants,
Spicy.
school shootings,
The kids menu.
LGBTQ,
Trans fat, huh?
legal weed,
Gotta have your greens.
sluts,
Clams.
little smelly, mentally challenged, very special.
That is special. Okay, well, boy, I think I'm gonna have all of them. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. I'll get the special.
You'll get special. One special coming up. Soup to nuts.
Yes, soup to nuts.
Yes.
That's good.
You like that?
I like that.
I like you.
I'm on the fence about you.
I'll give you a check.
All right, somebody check his papers. Netflix.
Well, did you like it?
That was great. I love that diner too. I've been there.
Yeah, that's the Chelsea Diner on 23rd and 9th. It might be the only one left that is open 24 hours.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the only
Well, we
one.
were talking about the death of diner culture in the 24-hour scene.
Right, because the first time we ever met recently was at a diner, which was pretty good diner on the Upper West Side. That was nice. I like that diner.
We were the youngest people there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how happy that makes me. There's a place across the street that I go all the time where I'm the youngest person there, and it makes me so happy. Everybody's really almost 90 there, so I take girls there all the time. I'm like, yeah, the youngest person here. It's fantastic. But yeah, that was really fun to do. I did a bunch of little movies this on the little break we had, which was fun. Got to work with this guy, Matt Salacuse. He told me I'm also in the Carolines documentary that's coming out, I guess, or I think there's one because they closed Carolines. I don't know if you know.
I
What?
know, yeah. I was really
Mike, you didn't know? Are you kidding?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
It's a Spirit Halloween store now, but it still says Caroline's on the front.
No, it's worse that they turned it into a ping pong place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have the space for ping pong.
No, it's ping pong, Mike.
Ugh.
I think it's called Slate, something like that. I'm pretty sure Susan Sarandon made it, I think, at first. I think she invented it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's really weird. But let's look at Molly's Frozen. You think, oh,
There we go.
You're back. What happened?
I don't know what happened. I wasn't sure if it was me or you because we both went out at the same time.
Oh, well, you touched something and then it came back.
I was about to touch something on my phone and then I didn't because I
That's what Mike said. Did you get a phone call?
No, I don't think so. No, because Harper's already having her daily FaceTime Barbie game with Bubby, so there shouldn't be any incoming calls. It's Tuesdays with Barbie for them. So, but yeah, I'm back, and hopefully I won't go anywhere again. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, let's go to the things in the news items today, Mike. If you show number one, I don't know if you do this. I do this every 4th of July, but the hot dog eating contest in Coney Island. I've been waiting my whole life to participate in it. Mm-hmm. Not that I could possibly for a minute eat 62 hot dogs, but
don't sell yourself short.
And that's low for him because there was a rain delay.
Oh my God.
He didn't get to eat all he usually can. The guy's won it. That's Joey Chestnut. He's won it 16 years in a row. And I think the next slide, Mike, and it could be the girl. Yeah, girl to the right. The next slide was Miki. I don't know how to pronounce her. Pseudo. The next slide, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. She is the woman that always comes in first now. Do you think you're showing it now, or are you having a difficulty?
No, you had that. For some reason, number one was last. So.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, gotcha. Right. Look at all that.
Oh my God.
I need all that. Sorry.
It's nice to see that it's not just a man's sport anymore.
Well, yeah, and
women can overdose on sodium too, you know?
Well, yeah, it's funny when she dresses like hot, this girl, because you're just like, wait, and she can eat 50 hot dogs in 10 minutes? I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what
that's a major turn on for the QAnon crowd, I'm sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't decide whether it's a turn on or not. I mean, obviously, I like a woman that can eat, but that's going to another.
It's more important how many hot dogs she can fit in her butt. I think that's the more important indicator.
Exactly. Mike, so is number 3 that's okay. Casey DeSantis. You know, that's Ron DeSantis' wife, and they're calling her now America's Karen. And I love that title.
Me. She looks like she's complaining to a manager right now.
Exactly. I don't know. I almost want him to win, so see what she's up to for the 4 years. I don't know why.
He would be a nightmare.
Yes, but there's somebody worse, so That's the weird part about all of this.
It's
move on
hard
so
to
we don't
say
get
which
lost.
of them would be worse because Ron DeSantis is a more he's a more systemic, like he's a more straightforward government, type of evil. He knows how to get the shit passed. Like Trump just seems like he's floundering all over the place.
Right. And it's weird because I know exactly what you're saying. He's a little evil, but he's more presidential.
He's a more presidential type of evil, which is very
Yeah.
insidious in a way. It's a more systematic type of evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like picking between Mussolini and Skeletor. It's like they're both-
Hard to say who would be worse. Skeletor can whip people up into a frenzy, though, so there's something to be said for that.
Let's go to the next one, Mike. I think that is this woman. Yes, that's her name is Eve Tilly Colson. She's going to give anyone who can fix her up with a man $5,000. And here are the terms. You can't be a second wife. You have to be 5'11" or taller. You have to be between the ages of 27 to 40. So I don't fit any of these except the really good one I totally fit, boast a witty British sense of humor. And because, hello, I can just go, oh, hello, Eve. A pleasure meeting you.
Wait a
Hello.
second. When did Dudley Moore enter the chat?
Maybe I like that you're having a drink. Would you like another fish? Tells you, hey, Perry's wife.
Who is this woman?
Mike.
Who is she, though?
Just some random whore. There's just no other way
Just
to
some
put it.
woman. Just a woman who's gonna die single because she's way too picky and can't lower her standards.
Yeah, go to the
a
next
little
one, Mike. I mean, she looks a little. When you're see, that's a little better picture to try and rope a man in, because the other one is just like, oh, look at you holding the drink and stuff like that. You just look stupid. She also, you have to have strong affiliates for sports, animals, and kids. And when she's saying sports, now it's not clear whether you have to play sports or if gambling on sports is just as good. Because I'm very close on this one. Very close.
I bet you're also like the Wimbledon master too, right? It goes along with your Britishness.
I've always liked a good game of tennis. So I don't know. Carl, you must have hated that moose. Will you forget the moose, Arthur? I think I could play every role in that thing. Like, usually one has to go to a bowling alley to meet someone of your stature, Arthur.
I can't wait to hear you do Liza.
Unless you're planning to knock over a fruit stand. Wouldn't it be funny if he called me? God damn, I couldn't get it right. I gotta get Mateo in here if we're gonna do that. This next picture is thank you, Marcy. That's Patrick Mahomes' new house. It's got a football field on it.
His Mahomes.
His new mansion. Yes, his Mahomes.
This is wigging me out. I feel like I'm looking at a million umbrellas in a tennis court.
Yeah, it doesn't look great from above. The thing is, though, it's like I wonder if that only cost $50 because it's built in Kansas. It's like
he's gonna
Aaron
start
Rodgers.
his own cult.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what that symbol looks like for sure. But Aaron Rodgers just bought a place in Montclair, New Jersey, which is probably a lot of money because that's high real estate. But this in Kansas, I mean, how much could it? I get the feeling I could afford that with 1 week's paycheck. There's just so much room to build there, I guess. But I guess he's staying in Kansas. That's the worst part about being a millionaire in Kansas, or the best part. There's really no, I don't know which is worse.
He came for the space and stayed for the corn.
Is it fun to be a big star in Kansas?
Maybe if you just want a big expansive place and no one to bother you.
Well, that's right. Exactly. But I don't know. I always wondered.
What do you think they don't have there, Dave?
I assume
bodegas.
Well, I always wondered when.
Yeah, they don't have cats in their supermarkets. That's for sure.
Well, I always wondered where Karl Malone used to play for the Utah Jazz. It was like, where's that guy going to go for dinner? Like the one black guy in Utah who's 7 feet tall. I mean, it's just like I don't know. At that time,
One thing they didn't have: 14-year-olds within 100 feet.
That what?
I said 14-year-olds within 100 feet.
Oh, is he in trouble now?
No, but he had a. You don't know about that thing that he did?
No.
No.
He had a 14-year-old pregnant when he first was in the NBA.
Oh, There you go.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, he
A
wanted to be
14-year-old
somewhere
can't
where
get pregnant.
Megan's Law, there wouldn't be too many neighbors for him to have to inform of his
Yipes.
situation.
Well, again, I really think back then he was probably the only black guy in Utah. And it's just like, I mean, that must have been tough. It's just, it doesn't seem like fun to be a big sports star at a place like that. Nowadays, maybe it's different. Like you say, what don't they have? But I really feel like things were different back then, only 30 years ago. I'm probably wrong because I never travel anywhere, so I don't know anything.
I love that it's like being a sports star in Utah sucks more somehow than just being anyone in Utah.
I agree 100%. I don't think I'll ever go in Utah my whole life, probably. I don't know. Anyway, if you go to the next photo, I don't know whether you heard this. They're making a Freaky Friday too. They go, and once the writer strike's over, I thought maybe this was the one you and your mom are working on, Molly. Is that right?
I'm surprised it's not actually.
Oh, I just assumed it was. That's why I brought it up. And you're going to get the original cast back together.
Is
Good for
this
you.
corned beef hash something that I'm affiliated with? Since I've essentially body swapped life stages with my mom because she thinks that she's like, 30 and I feel like I'm 70. Fuck. No, this isn't the one we're working on. We're doing a Look Who's Talking rehash if this thing ever ends.
For real?
Yeah. That was the thing we were working on.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm at liberty. That was the thing. I was like, I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about it. We're obviously not working on it at the moment because everything's on hiatus. But that was the.
That's a really good. I know what and I don't mean to bring it up if you can't talk about it, but I mean, now that you mention it, that's fucking brilliant because that first one made so much money. It's been 30 years. Why not?
Right. Yeah. Why wouldn't he be a full-grown millennial still living in the apartment with John Travolta with a podcast?
Oh, you mean
their idea for the sequel, which is Reasonable Thursday?
Reasonable Thursday. They don't swap bodies. They just actually have a brunch together that's normal and healthy.
Well, although I liked this Freaky Friday, the original, which is the next slide, was, of course, my favorite. I remember seeing that in the movies when I was a kid. And, of course, the reason I liked it the most was because that guy standing on the left, that's Mark McClure. He's always been kind of my hero.
Oh, I thought that was you.
Yeah, I think that's why I like. He was a little taller than me, but yeah, very Jewy looking. And he was, if you look at the next photo, you might remember him from this.
Oh.
I always wear a suit to the office. What is this?
I was just talking about this hairstyle the other day. This short-lived 80s, 90s hairstyle for men that was sort of like the white guy Jerry curl look. You know what I mean?
You haven't seen my high school yearbook photo, have you?
No.
Oh, well, I'll show it to you later.
You have to type that to me.
I'll get it ready next week. I mean, I had that exact hair. And it was a lot higher. It was a Jufro.
It was
full Jufro. And you realize that all the guys that had Jufros went bald. It's weird. So obviously that was the wrong thing to do back then. We shot our load, what do you say? When we used all our hair up for the next couple of decades.
Neil Israel for a while kept the Jufro even though he was bald. It was sort of like that Steven Spielberg triangle of hair that guys were rocking for a while.
Yes. Well, we all try hard to keep it as long as we can, and that's what are you going to do? We color it and fix it, and then finally one day we realize it's just over. It's the saddest of all things.
Bald kings and short kings should be proud.
I know. It's just you'll never understand. Anyway,
I'll never understand.
So we go to the next picture, Mike, because I know. Right, the next picture is the classic. I love getting a nice clear photo of this. That's hey, his head's cut off. His head's cut off. This is bad photography. You can get this printed up in any novelty store. That would have been some heavy photoshopping back in the day. I don't know why I love that picture so much. I like it because they only show it in just a little photo. So I like a nice clear picture of it. And when I think that they had to take the picture when they're making the movie, it makes me happy. I don't know why. And I've seen behind the scene footage of this as well.
It's
What are you
not Back to
looking
the Future. It's Back to the Future
.com?
something. .com. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the good picture. I just like the Hill Valley class of '84. The Hill Valley Bulldogs. They never say what their mascot is. Like, it's the Hill Valley Bulldogs.
This looks like a class photo from summer school.
Yeah. It really, that's why it's flawless. That's why Robert Zemeckis is the man. Also, if you go to the next one, this guy, I couldn't have been happier, played Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. And that's the way you say it. That's in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. So, and he was in all 4 Superman movies, all 4 Chris Reeve Superman movies. Very impressive. They clearly got along very well.
Oh.
And look, he's almost as tall as Chris Reeve. That was
He's
my
a
flaw.
foot shorter.
Who is that?
Who's what? That's
The
Mark
guy in
McClure.
That's Mark McClure. I'm sorry.
That's-
I have facial blindness. So if you
That's
show
the
me,
guy from Freaky Friday, like 3 years later.
oh my god,
Yeah.
he looks like Mark Lynn Baker.
Yeah. Well, we all look alike, pretty much. I looked like Mark Lynn Baker, 30 years ago. What I want to look like in my next life is the man on the right.
Mhm.
Really bad.
Not present day, but
No, not present day, and not like for the last 10 years of his life, but before that. My friend Vincent used to hang out with them, and they said they went to like theater, plays together and stuff, and the guy couldn't even fit in the seats. He's just so tall and awesome. Is there another one? Yeah. What's the next one, Mike? This is, I was making fun of you, I think. I can't
Yes.
believe you moved and everybody's like, oh, brilliant, moving out of the city. And now, wah, wah.
I mean, isn't that the ironic thing about climate change? Nowhere is safe.
Nowhere's
So,
safe. This is Vermont, everybody. I mean, this is
Mhm.
where Molly is. And they
That's
got,
actually not where I am, though.
well,
I'm an
right.
hour
This is the
north.
capital, Montpelier.
Montpelier.
Is that how it's
yeah.
pronounced? What's it?
Is it Montpelier or Montpelier? I'm sure I'm
Oh, yeah.
pronouncing things wrong with my, somehow Bronxish accent that I still have, even though I was never there.
This is the state capital, right?
Yes, it is. I'm in Burlington, so we're about like 200 feet above sea level, but apparently there's a dam around Montpelier that was overflowing, and I think they had to release the dam, and that was what happened. So we were very lucky to
Yeah, go to the
escape
next
that.
one, Mike. This is the whole town.
It's very Venetian now.
Yeah, I mean, this certainly looks like a lot of fun if you have a little rowboat.
Yeah,
mean,
the dinghy.
And that's not your car.
No, it would be bad if you had a car. This happened to
See?
my niece.
Everyone kept going on and on about like flying cars, and it's like aqua cars were the thing that we needed. Where's my fucking self-driving aqua car? Not a
That's right.
submersible, an aqua car.
You're absolutely right. That's right out of The Spy Who Loved Me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the aqua car they had in that one. That's a good idea. That's better than a flying car. You're right. Nowadays, we're going to need it for climate change. My niece almost died in one of those flash floods in Newark, New Jersey.
God.
And she had to get out of her window, but it was close. And that's why I said these things keep happening, these flash floods like this, where people are just getting stuck in their car and they're not even by the water. They need to have like one of those old-fashioned cranks where you have it in your glove compartment and you fit it in, because if your electricity is not working, you're dead.
Yeah, roll down the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been because I only thought of it because my car is so old. Sometimes my windows don't work, and then sometimes I can't put them back up. And I'm like, somebody should also have just a thing that you can plug it right in and crank it. I mean, it's just, and for safety purposes too.
Yeah, this is the shit that Elon Musk should be noodling over instead of trying to look cool on Twitter.
Well, he's probably going to make that aqua car, so maybe you should just shut up.
I mean, if he does, then my hat goes off to him. But so far,
see, they know.
All I hear about is this Tesla self-driving cars like mashing themselves into a wall or something.
I've heard that too. That somebody told me they couldn't. Oh yeah, that's the one from The Spy Who Loves Me.
Yes, there it is. Yeah,
Isn't that perfect?
They actually made aqua cars. I knew a dude who had an aqua car, and he would, take it out for a little ride around the Hudson and then come back.
What?
Yeah, because it was a short-lived thing. They did manufacture them. What was it, like in the 60s or something like that?
How
There
can
are
that
a
be?
few. There are a few aqua cars. They have propellers.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
for
I love
sure.
that car, and I was always when that girl, Barbara Bach, started like doing some of the stuff. I was
Ringo's
like,
wife.
"How did you? Right? How did you know how to use it?" She goes, "I saw the plans for this 2 years ago." Bullshit. Why would she be seeing the British card plans? It just does. Well, she was a Russian spy. I guess it
Was
makes sense.
she?
Well, yeah, and that's why it's a spy who loved me. She was the Russian
Oh,
spy who loved me,
right.
and
I've never
he
seen a
had killed her
James
husband.
Bond movie.
What?
I know. There are like so many movies that like I've never seen that people are just like, what the fuck
Is that
is
the
wrong with
kind of
you?
car you were talking
There it
about?
is. That is it. That's exactly the car. He had one of those.
Who had it?
It was my ex-boyfriend Steve, who was, significantly older than me, was into drag racing, had some muscle car friends in New Jersey that with the pompadours that we would go hang out with, and one of them had a fucking aqua car. These like vintage car
Really?
dudes. Yeah.
But you can't. Where can you go with it?
You could take it for like little short rides, and you would just take it for short rides in the water because obviously it was an old car, but he
Well, like
maintained
which?
it, and
I guess I'm trying. I mean, that looked like a lot of water. I mean, I guess the
it's
water.
like a little boat. It sort of has a car body that's also kind of boatish at the bottom. I feel like the wheels are a little bit higher up because you'd have to keep it off the ground, but it's got little propellers in the back.
A week late says he's actually been in one of those before.
Oh, really?
That's
That's rad.
that sounds like fun. Yeah, I can't believe
I
you've
like
never
that
seen
you
a James
dated
Bond.
Stanley from Lords of Flatbush. That's awesome.
The Lords of Flatbush.
You
Is
never
that the
seen
one with
Lords of
Henry
Flatbush?
Winkler and Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I've never
classic.
heard of that.
Yeah, that's Stallone and Henry Winkler. That's where they met, and that's why when Sylvester Stallone went out to try and sell Rocky the script, he only knew one person in L.A. and it was Henry Winkler, and so he stayed with him for a little bit, which was really cool. And then he
Yet
became an
Henry
even
Winkler
bigger
didn't
star.
play Adrian.
No, but it's just so funny that there they are. Look at that, huh?
Aw.
And then, so I remember when Henry Winkler was the Fonz, which would, you can't even explain to people who weren't alive then how popular he was. They showed the Lords of Flatbush because it was a movie he did before the Fonz. And then like, Henry Winkler stars in Lord of Flatbush. And he got really upset about it because he's like, I'm not really the star. And nobody knew who Sylvester Stallone was, I guess, at the time. It was just, coming out and stuff. So, and meanwhile, it's just so funny that guy became just as big as Henry Winkler. You'll never understand. I don't think you're old enough to understand
Oh, I
what
used to watch
happened.
Happy Days like Nick at Night all the time, so I
Nick
know
at
the
Night,
Fonz was like a huge fucking deal.
right, but you can't. It's like I don't think anybody could be told. Like
If
it's
you
like,
weren't there at the time, obviously, it was like JTT. Like I'm sure everyone had his poster plastered up on their wall.
it was just more. He was just so big. Like listening to him talk about it is really interesting too. Like when he talks about like how him and Richie and Potsy and Ralph would go to mall openings. It's just like he's like, what the hell? And they were all going in like, and they couldn't get out. And he goes, I'm just gonna go into the Fonz character. Okay, let's give it a try. He goes, okay, I want everybody to part the Red Sea, so to speak. And when he goes into the character, you're like, oh my God, it is a character. Wow, you just think he was talking like that, but it's a character, and it was unbelievable.
It's like when you see what's his name do Horseshack, like he's doing
Ron
interviews.
Palillo?
Yes,
I think he was kind of like that.
He was a little bit, but not that.
If you watch Friday the 13th Part 6, he gets killed off right at the opening credits, and he's exactly like Horseshack.
Well, because he probably like was already Horseshacky at that point. They like cast him to be Horseshack.
Wait, did you know him?
I didn't know him. I was just a fan of Welcome Back Kotter, and I had a crush on Horseshack growing up because I always gravitate towards the littlest, nerdiest one of any group, and I'm like, that's the one I like. Not knowing he was gay, obviously.
We're positive he's gay? I mean, everybody assumed. I mean, you can't watch that thing without thinking he wasn't.
No, was reading his Wikipedia recently, and he was gay, and he was also like a really well-trained actor, and it probably sad that he like didn't get more opportunities than to just be like, oh.
Oh, there he is getting killed in Friday the 13th Part 6.
Oh my God.
My friend and I were laughing so hard when we saw it in the movies. We're like, he dies in the opening the pre-credit sequence. It was before the words Friday the 13th Part 6.
Yeah, they bring him back to life like idiots.
Yeah, right. The lightning strikes the casket, right?
Yeah, him and Tommy dig him up to make sure he's dead, which brings him back to life because they're morons.
We can't figure out how he got that role. Like, we don't know why. Oh, Mr. Carter, little Juan.
He definitely doesn't have like a hero who makes it to the end of the movie vibes at all.
Well, I was watching, and I know we've talked about this before. I was watching I Could Never Be Your Woman, and I know that's based on you calling up, and they call Henry Winkler, and Henry Winkler's in the movie. So was Henry Winkler one of the people you actually called, or is that just for the movie?
It was just for the movie. I don't think he was one of the ones that we actually called, because I actually knew him when I was a kid. He worked with Neil Israel on this TV movie called Dad's Week Off. Oh. And he's just like the nicest human being in the universe. So I think it was more one of those things where it's like, we need a celebrity that this kid is crank calling, like, and he was willing to do it, and he's a good sport. You know what I mean?
That's all I've ever heard about Henry Winkler. That he is. In fact, I remember Sarah told me he called her in for something they were going to work on maybe together, and she crumpled up a piece of paper and threw it in like the garbage, or maybe he had a basketball. I don't remember, or whether it was the garbage. She tried to make a basketball shot, and he's like, "That's pretty good, but this time try it again." But and he was being serious, and she's like, "Okay." Like it was like weird, but he was nothing but nice. And I know that her and Ron Howard, I have a picture of the two of them at the ABC studios or offices, and they're in front of the they did it for me. I couldn't have been happy. They're in front of the Henry Winkler poster, going like, hey. Oh shit. I don't even. Nice. Oh, Richard, Jenny, fuck him. So Olivia d'Abo, she's a Bond girl. How did this happen? Olivia d'Abo.
Dad's Week Off. That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Olivia d'Abo. I'm positive she's in. Isn't that? Do I have her wrong? Isn't she in the first Timothy Dalton one? Living Daylights. Is that Olivia d'Abo?
I don't know who she is.
Now, why have you never seen a Bond movie?
I don't know. I think I saw a little bit of Goldfinger.
Oh, well, that's good. You've never seen any of the Daniel Craig, huh?
Oh, wait, I think I did see one Daniel Craig because Jason made me watch it.
Well, I hope you saw Casino Royale, because that's fantastic.
I don't even remember.
The rest of them you can take or leave. But, you should see one of the Roger Moore ones because they're really fun, like The Spy Who Loved Me.
And the Sean Connery ones, right?
Well, of course. But I'm just saying, if you're, if you want to have fun, if you want to have a good night, real high, then The Spy Who Loved Me is fantastic because it's just gadgets and fun and stupid. And it's great, for what it, but you can see why people just got angry about it too. Even Octopussy's really good, and I like saying it.
That's the one about the woman with 8 pussies, right?
No! But it is Maud Adams as her second Bond girl thing, because she's also in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Isn't it like a rule for like all the Bond girls? Oh,
wait, what'd you say, Mike?
Miriam Diabo's in Living Daylights.
Oh, okay. I was pretty close. That's so funny. Miriam Diabo. I wonder if they're related. They look actually alike, so maybe they are.
They're sisters.
Oh, okay. Miriam Diabo. Okay. Well, listen, I was pretty close. I feel pretty good about myself, and that's the best I can do. What were you going to say, Molly? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, well, like, wasn't it a rule of every Bond movie, like, if he got together with one of the women at the end of one, like, she had to die early in the next one or something?
No, that's
just the one where he got married.
Yeah, that's just that. Yeah, that he with unfortunately the one with George Lazenby, he got married, and that's the only person that ever died. The love interest that died at the end.
In the next
spoiler
movie.
alert.
No.
She died in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she died in that movie, And then there was no correlation to it in the next movie because that was Diamonds Are Forever, and they just never spoke about it. It was back to Sean Connery. But in the beginning of For Your Eyes Only, he goes to her grave. It's really weird.
That's what I'm thinking.
And that's like 5 movies later in a different Bond. So I don't know.
So the pathos isn't really there as much.
No, and that's why the Daniel Craig was kind of right there where they were trying to make a storyline and a string, whereas they never really cared for that. And we would have liked that as fans, or big fans of Bond. And most of the guys my age hated the last Bond because of the way it ends, because it just ain't right. So anyway, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Why don't we go to the what do I call them? Slides. Is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
I'm going to share my screen and go to this. Actually, I'm sharing now. I was mad because that girl Liz from Canada's not here today, and I was going to give her shit about these stupid fires, which must be horrible for you, right? They're even worse up there, no?
Oh, in Vermont, they've been coming through here, and then they settle in New York City. So I get the preview of how shitty it's going to be for my friends and family in like tomorrow.
Oh, God. That one day, at least, that we had here, I mean, I haven't seen it like this. I mean, that was insane. And that we're truly doing that South Park thing where we're blaming Canada, and we might go to war with them for this. This is really uncool. Fucking get your affairs in order and put that shit out.
I can't believe I quit smoking just in time for the Earth to start.
It's a good thing you stopped sniffing glue. You picked the right week. These guys, I'm done with these fucking coronation shit. I'm done. This is a Thanksgiving in Scotland, I think, because the one thing they don't celebrate in England is the 4th of July. So I guess they wanted to just do anything else. Let's just celebrate let's not talk about it. What's happening in America? Let's just go back. I mean, but aren't you sick of it? All right, we get it. He's king, and he's probably going to be the worst king ever. But she is a delight. This is that your daughter? Bring her in.
It is. She's come up into the room.
The smart one?
Supervised.
One I met?
No, the 3-year-old.
Oh, hey!
This is like that
oh my God! Look how
segment
cute.
of the guy zooming in his house, and the kid just dances into the room. We're not going to watch Esme and Roy right now.
But she's so cute.
She's really cute, but
Look
she's a teeny weeny Mussolini, and she can't get what she wants all the time.
Yeah, kids are horrible like that.
They are. She's cute, but yeah, I'm over the royal family too. Just anyone wearing epaulets is just like fuck you already.
Right. Well, it was Paris Fashion Week this week. She can watch with us. She can stay if she wants to sit on your lap and look at some of the photos.
I don't know if she's a Cardi B fan, if she'll understand.
Oh, I understand. Well, that's the weird part. So this is Paris Fashion Week, and Cardi B was like all over. This is her. Maybe the next day or later. This is her again. I mean, she just really put on a show for Paris Fashion Week. But if you're gonna be that person, then Paris Fashion Week is the way to go.
Yes.
Anonymous, you have to use that for a better one. Because maybe you wore that to work today. It's the idiot ones like this. There you go, Anonymous. There's where I wore that to work today goes. We love looking at this kind of stuff on the show because there you go. Because I mean, who's wearing this? Ow. What is she painted blue or is that a scarf?
The turtleneck reminds me of that guy. Remember the one in the Bazooka Joe comics that had the turtleneck all the way up on his face?
Mort.
Yeah, Mort. Yeah.
Yeah, I know all the characters.
I knew there was a reason we were friends.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely the reason we know. For some reason, all the older stuff that you shouldn't know because you're too young, but that's why I like you so much. How about this one? What the fuck? We love looking at oh, sorry, I didn't mean to curse your kids.
No, it's okay. She hears me cursing all day long.
Oh.
What is happening here? Just random hands.
Well, we
caressing.
just don't understand Fashion Week because who's going to wear this? It just doesn't make any sense.
I would wear that to work if I was the man in the iron mask.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Is that even a man? I think it's a woman, but I'm
If
not
I was
sure
them in the iron mask.
because well, see, now this is normal. This is what you want to go to Fashion Week for. You see all the people. This is what you picture in your head as Fashion Week. A really great gown and people on the sides on the stage taking photos and something like this. Even this is what's her name? Chris, the legendary model, Chrissy.
Twiggy.
Christy Turlington?
No. What'd you say, Mike?
That's a Twiggy.
Crawford, Cindy Crawford.
Oh, okay.
This is her daughter.
Oh, okay.
And see this, this at least this is something somebody might wear. You might actually see in the street. Now it gets worse when they do the men, because I'm like, this is the menswear Paris Fashion Week, and I'm like, well, is it menswear or are they just showing gay menswear?
I feel like that first outfit would look great on Tilda Swinton. It's just very gaunt.
Nice
gaunt
call.
vibes. Yeah.
That's my favorite Bazooka Joe character.
Tilda Swinton.
It just doesn't add up. And then, I mean, this one is more manly, but if you are really doing menswear, then you want to do the regular guy look. And that is my look that I gonna give out every day. And my favorite part, because I live it, is when they're going to the guy and they're like, yeah, my friend needs it. Like Joe Pesci goes, yeah, I need a shirt I can wear like 4 days in a row. And I'm like, yeah. I just bought 2 of your short sleeve pajama tops. The regular guy look.
I just came back from golfing with Chevy Chase look.
Oh God, I thought you actually were coming back from Chevy. You something for a second, because I could see that happen to you. Now I've heard he's nothing but an asshole.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's nice to you.
No.
So I took this picture, folks. I don't know whether you know, but I went to the Karl Lagerfeld exhibit at the Met, and since we were always talking about fashion all the time, I went there and I took this picture. I'm like, I gotta show everybody on the show, because we always talk about all the fashion shows, the Milan one, the Paris one, the New York one. And I went with some friends who was at the Met, and they had little girls just around, well, no, maybe they're a little older than yours. And because there's one of them, that's Rooney. They were she's cute as a button. And apparently I was talking so much, they're like, Mommy, make him stop. So,
like in The Exorcist.
Yeah, well, they were like,
stop.
They were like, she's like, kids, I told you he talks a lot. I mean, we talked about this in the car on the way here. There's nothing we can do.
Looks like Rooney got to meet Tilda Swinton too.
Exactly. Well, here's my favorite one. She's not wearing any panties. How could I not take that one? Come on. I was it's kind of weird if they have it up like that, and they just should. I know it's just a mannequin, but it's still awkward.
Yeah.
I still felt like I was doing something wrong.
And they wanted to, give one shout out to the voyeurs.
Yeah. Man, that's where I come in. What's going on? What am I missing in the chat room here? Is yes, it is. Chevy Chase was expelled from my high school. He poured water on the hill on a freezing cold day, and the headmaster fell and hurt himself. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay. So he did one cool thing.
This is.
He's a dick. He would say no.
No. Hey, my friend is a nurse in at Columbia, and he was there for about 2 weeks, and she said the nurses hated him. He was just nothing but a dick. Can you imagine being rude to nurses? I mean, that's just you. Then you are the ultimate dick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Aunt Judy says she was almost expelled from boarding school because I was supposed to pull weeds of house mother, and I didn't know what a weed was, so I pulled all her roses out. Well, that's pretty funny. That's Aunt Judy for you. Anyway, this was an orange cat competition in Bangkok this week. They had their own fashion show. This is probably the cutest competition you'll ever see.
Aww.
And I think is that the winner? This is the winner. His name is Jackie Long, and he won the orange cat competition. It's also based on, obviously color, softness, personality. I really feel like if there was a
And
black
resemblance
cat
to Wilfred Brimley.
Yes. That cat has diabetes.
Hi, I'm
cat wasn't
Wilfred
a
Brimley. Oh, it makes me miss my cat. And speaking of which, this is the oldest dog ever and lives
Okay.
in Portugal. His name is Bobby. And it's the oldest living dog, 31 years old of all time, according to Guinness. But he doesn't look that old, you know. It's like sunny, but like his skin is really good. His fur.
Well, he lives in a blue zone.
Yeah. But I don't know. I can't believe that that's not more on the news. Like
Maybe he's had work done.
He's clearly had work done. Look how he doesn't look old at all. He just looks like he's very healthy. I don't know. And it's the running of the Bulls week. Speaking of these horrible cruelty to animal stuff, and I really don't like this, but I like when the Bills beat the shit out of these people. I don't know why. I think it's just I feel like the Bulls are just so confused. So I like when they just stamp on them.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's taking a picture. You got to respect that. I don't know how they're not all just dead, but see, this he really gave it to him good.
He wore a red T-shirt. I mean, it's like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Well,
or just the object of the game, just pure.
Well,
stupidity.
He wanted to get. He probably was begging for this photo, and that's why I like this one. This guy's at least picking him up by the horns. And the best part is that these people were protesting, and then the Bulls went after them. I swear, this is a bull protest.
Oh my god!
They were protesting the cruelty to animals, but they were all wearing red. And then, like the Bugs Bunny cartoon, they just stopped and went over like, "Oh, like this."
It even looks like that one in front has her udders out in protest.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It definitely looks like that. That's much more intriguing.
Why would you wear red around bulls?
I don't know.
It really is like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah. And then you can just be cruel to animals in different ways too, like feeding them beer. I mean,
see, this is like relationship goals to me.
This is the bar from the Banshees of Inisherin, which I think is the name of the movie. This is that pub in the movie and that's the real goat or thing from like I don't know.
This is my second opportunity this week on a podcast to whip out my Edward Albee, who is Sylvia reference for no one to get. Oh man, do you know that show, The Goat, or Who is Sylvia? It's all about a guy who cheats on his wife with a goat.
I didn't know that's what it was about. I mean, I know Edward Albee, but I thought I didn't. Right. There's a play called The Goat, right?
That's what it's about.
I didn't know that's what it was about.
That's what it's about. I saw it with Jonathan Pryce, and then, his wife in a jealous rage kills the goat. So, spoilers.
Did you ever see the Woody Allen movie where Gene Wilder is sleeping with the goat?
No.
It's a sheep. I'm sorry. He's sleeping with the sheep, and they're having an affair. It's called Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex, but Were Afraid to Ask.
Oh, that one. I saw the sperm sequence. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Right, with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And Tony Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's like, what if he's masturbating? I'll just wind up in the ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah, he's afraid to be the sperm. That's a really interesting movie now, knowing what Woody Allen would achieve. You know, you can't picture making that and Blue Jasmine on the same day. This is that stupid Tour de France. That's always stupid, but I mean, this looks like a nice place to. But you know how annoyed I would be at this. You know, I can't stand when there's shit going on around my block, where I can't go outside and do stuff, and people are making noise.
This reminds me of that, 2 weeks in Nyack when the weather's nice and every rich person with a bike and spandex thinks they have to put them on and bike to the nearest muffin shop.
Well, yep, there it is.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, these guys are idiots. I mean, how are they not? I love when there's a crash.
Why aren't they running with bulls?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing, right? They should have bulls behind them, and that would make this more exciting and interesting. But I like when they crash because they're all idiots. How are they even But how is it a race? What can they can't even move? And that like that 2 years ago when that woman had that sign and she was sitting and she got hit by all those bikers. It was great.
This is like if cholesterol was people.
Yeah. And there's the beautiful princess again. This is Roger Federer retiring, and you can see he probably made the wrong choice of wife because this one really likes him and is amazed by him, and his real wife is just like, oh crap. Now he's retired. Now what are we gonna do?
Who wants to be married to someone who likes them?
Yeah, but she's so pretty, that Princess Kate, right?
She is pretty.
Yeah, she's the real deal. I mean, if Meghan Markle was normal, she could be pretty too, like that.
Meghan Markle's gorgeous too, but it's not like, okay, you're a princess. Like,
right.
You fucked a dude.
God, I just can't stop thinking about that South Park episode where they're just looking for attention, and it's just the best.
It's just British Kardashians, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Good point. And this was at Wimbledon, because that last picture was at Wimbledon. That's going on still. And this was a protest, again, about just stop oil protest. And they threw puzzle pieces on the ground. I don't know what the fuck that means. All I know is they just, everybody's protesting something, and nobody's happy.
I was annoyed with the when they threw the thing on the Van Gogh, and it wasn't because the painting was damaged, obviously. And I know that like climate change is the most pressing issue of our time, so any protest is a good protest. But at first I thought it seemed a little astroturfy, and I wasn't sure. And then I also heard that one of their contributors is that oil heiress. But that isn't to say that someone who made their money off a shitty thing can't want to contribute to the solution. But like, I felt as though like sometimes if a protest runs the risk of it's such a complicated issue. I appreciate the work that they do, and at the same time, I think that a little sometimes more strategic organization is required to really stop the mechanism that's killing us.
Well, the Van Gogh exhibit, when was that?
That was the first time Just Stop Oil sort of rose to prominence, because they had two activists that superglued themselves to the wall at a museum
that was
in
about
England.
2-3 years. That was before COVID, right?
No. This was recently. This was like this past year. They threw soup on the sunflowers. Of course, it's under glass, so the painting's fine. But it was just sort of more one of those things where it's like, if you want to, there's even ways if you wanted to protest at a museum to like tie it back to the oil industry, because it's like Charles Koch like donated uber amounts of money to museums in New York, so why not throw shit on his name to be like, yo, fuck this guy? You know what I mean? Just like a more cohesive messaging sometimes I think helps.
But, they depicted that in last season's Emily in Paris.
What, a protest?
Yeah, well, it was a bunch of guys that just wanted to get on, Instagram.
I mean, I hate the oil industry, so I'm like, you want to just paint everything orange? Like, if you got rage, take it out on them, fine, whatever. Because yeah, fuck it, we're all gonna die soon, right?
Well, that's why you don't like Elon Musk, but you don't like the oil industry.
I do. I appreciate what Elon Musk is trying to do, but I feel like if he was actually trying to do it in earnest, he could have done all these things already. He could have single-handedly spent a fraction of his fortune to take America and just, have us all completely on solar. Like, these technologies actually aren't that out of our reach. It's that they're actually not being invested into the level that they should be, or even to the people who are pretending as though they are doing it. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does. But the thing about solar energy is that's been going on since the 70s, and they just can't. I don't know why they can't get it together. They have it together in Israel. In Israel, They totally have worked it out. I remember as I guess an 8th grader, we were really heavily into solar energy and building all this stuff, and I was in the newspaper for some. They were kind enough to put me in the pit.
That's cool.
I didn't know what was doing, but they put me in as part of the project. Like, David, why don't you get in here? You never get to go in the paper because you're stupid. And but I remember one of the other science teachers hated solar energy, so when they were taking the picture for the paper, she closed the blinds She like wanted to have nothing to do with solar energy. It was really weird, and for
Whatever.
some reason controversial. And if you see The Man with the Golden Gun, it's all about solar energy.
No solution is perfect, and obviously, like getting the natural resources for solar is also a sticky wick, and battery technology and stuff like that. But the technology's come a long way. The thing that's really standing in our fucking way is the fossil fuel lobbyists. Like those are really just it's those handful of fuckers that are just paying enough money to put the kibosh on all this other stuff.
Yeah. Mike, I should have gotten that. Is that why you did that?
The
Oh,
woke
yeah.
scold has come into the chat now.
Sorry, I still had.
didn't mean to bring
I still
down
got.
the
Let me
mood
share
of
my
that.
screen again. Oh no! Wait, no, I'm confused. I have to go back. Oh, okay, hold on a second. I should have done that way before, Mike. You were smart. While she was talking, I should have made it the full screen. I'm a horrible host.
You're terrible. Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
This is in Gloucester, Massachusetts. It just looks like so much fun. And they're just jumping off a cliff. I thought it was somewhere like in Italy or France. It's just in Massachusetts. But it reminded me of that Simpsons episode where they have an escalator going to nowhere. And people are just dropping off like the little kids.
Reminds me. Yeah.
Right. And then they spent money on that magnifying glass too. I don't remember what episode it was.
This is very on point for us right now at the moment. We'll blast a convertible into space, but no solar panels on the tops of our bus stops.
Right? It's so simple.
The cliff jumping thing reminds me of, I don't know if anyone remembers that old computer game Lemmings, where you could just like make them jump off a cliff and just watch them splat for fun.
No, I don't remember that.
It was a game that would play like 8-bit Mozart, and like you had these little lemmings, and whatever you commanded them to do, you would sort of try to plan a path for the lemmings to get through this obstacle, but you could also just kill them for fun if you wanted to. So
yes, I do enjoy that. I don't know why I shouldn't, but I do. I'll just really quickly go through the rest of these. This is a Thousand Arms classical sculpture that's in France, which always freaks me out because it reminds me of that, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, the Ray Harryhausen stuff. This used to scare me as a kid, even though I thought it was awesome.
The woman of 100 hand jobs.
Yeah, and then if you look at this one, does anybody know who that might look like?
Horseshot.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but Mike,
Ron
any guesses? Because it's so obvious
I'm
to
not
me.
getting canceled.
Who do you think, Mike?
That's what I'm not getting canceled.
What? No, you won't get canceled. The person I'm thinking of, you're not going to get canceled.
I don't know who you're thinking of.
Who is that?
That's Dan Natterman. He's our friend.
Okay.
I mean, it really does. I mean, look at it.
Mhm.
Kind of does, yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, it's Natterman.
You know who it kind of looks like? It looks like Rowan Atkinson in blue makeup.
Oh yeah, yes, that could work too.
Sinbad. So.
And this is like a theater dragon. I just went to see Life of Pi on Broadway, so they have these little theater dragons in China. But the better one was the Ray Harryhausen one in the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. His stop motion stuff, which I know, Molly, you can appreciate since you like puppetry. You know what? I wish you lived in town. I would have taken you to see Life of Pi with me because I think you would have appreciated the puppetry, which was pretty cool.
That seems really cool.
It was all right.
I love the skeletons, the Harryhausen skeletons, because me and my mom, that's very much our posture. Just very much, I'm like.
That's Jason and the Argonauts, I think, right?
Yes.
This is Coldplay in Denmark. They're still a thing? Is this for real? That sounds like the worst time ever. Exhibit A. This is Psy in Seoul. He's still a thing? That's the Gangnam Style guy? What is happening?
His other albums are pretty good.
Who is the She Bangs guy on American Idol?
That's William Hung.
You can milk this stuff to death if you know how to work it,
You just need one hit song.
He's had several hit songs.
Not
over there.
We know.
No.
Right?
Yeah, but they're actually
So
pretty
this
good.
is-
Like the videos are
Yeah.
actually better than the Gangnam Style video too.
Really? Why do
Yeah.
you know that?
Because I do.
To be fair to Psy, Gangnam Style is probably his worst song. It's probably like Semisonic, where it's like closing time's the most annoying song on the album.
Oh,
But the rest
kinda
is
is.
fire.
So you're saying he still has fans? Interesting. And so this is the band Twice. I just saw them on the Today Show last week. I'm like, I never even heard about them before. They're a K-pop band, obviously, and they stink. They're like really bad. Their songs stink. They're untalented, and there's too many of them, and they couldn't all fit on the stage. Like they had a lot of problem. They kept bumping into each other and everything, so it was really bad. But these guys are fucking awesome for some reason. I don't know why. Their songs are good. They're talented, and that guy Jungkook, who I don't know which one he is, but his new solo song is dropping in 3 days at 1 p.m. KST. That's Korean Standard Time.
Okay.
It's like huge worldwide news. But if his songs are anything like Butter and that other one they have, it's pretty good. When these girls really stink, I mean, they stink. Yeah, they're a softball team. Good choice. There's 9 of them. That's too many.
It's like the Avengers cast.
Yeah. And they're really bad. I was watching, and because I was like, these guys are stupid. And then I really enjoyed their songs, and I like watching their videos. They move well, they're fun, but these girls are just bad.
Now, did these guys create more room for themselves on stage by hugging the whole time? Is that the secret? It's
That's
more
what
of
they
a
do. Yeah.
chorus line situation.
Yeah. No, they're all over that. They're really, you ever see any of their videos? They're kind of fun. I mean, they're
Okay.
kind of ridiculous because they're clearly like, they can't be that cool.
This image is putting me in the mood for a bag of Skittles somehow.
Well, I like that, like 2 of them have gray hair, so I could probably be in this group. It's weird that that's become the thing. I kind of like that. Yeah, who doesn't know Korean Standard Time, Anonymous? Exactly. This is
2 of
the
them have
full
gray
moon
hair,
at the
2 of them
Temple of
drive a van.
Poseidon. Say again?
2 of them have gray hair. 2 others drive a van.
That's just like Uncle David. But this is just, I always take pictures of a moon at a really cool place. And this is in Greece, the Temple of Poseidon. I mean, I like this kind of stuff because if this back then, when nobody knew anything, if you had this backdrop and somebody was telling you I'm your king, wouldn't you just think this guy knows his stuff? Like if he didn't know how things worked. I don't know. I'm fascinated by that.
If you
kind of
didn't
stuff.
know how to position yourself in front of a beautiful view, you'd think that person was a genius.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you if you don't know how Earth works and all that kind of stuff, I'm always fascinated. I don't know. This is the 4th of July, obviously, in Washington, D.C. And this is the new Sphere in Las Vegas. It's just open. It's going to be a big concert venue, and it's going to be a new landmark in Vegas, and it does all these kind of weird things. That's really messed
I can't
up.
wait for the globe to look like annoying orange because it's just with a big
Yeah.
eyeball staring out.
Oh,
of it.
they have so many things. I only picked 2 that it can turn into. But yeah,
I
they
like
have
that
like, I think it's an 18,000 seat thing. It's a movie theater. It's I guess it's I don't know.
It's
Should be a new phenomenon. What, Mike?
Oh, it's owned by the MSG people.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. I saw it said, oh, is this his song?
You could
Maybe
totally be a regional Psy.
in a different country.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Do it Juskow style. What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I could definitely make the videos. I'm certainly old enough to be in that video.
I just love it. I like the the whole essence of it. It's just like utterly confusing, but they're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look like fun. I can't believe you follow Psy. You were like angry at me for even saying. You're like, well, fuck you. Psy's amazing. You were like,
Like you can take a lot of shots at a lot of things.
No, what, Mike?
So I didn't get this tattoo for nothing.
Yeah. I hope you spelled it with the proper P. I just couldn't believe it when I saw it. I'm like, sorry, Coldplay? What the hell? Coldplay stinks, right? Or is it just me?
They had their time, and it was an emo time, and it seems weird to still be doing the sad emo shtick when you're, with orbs flying around. I don't know.
Oh, Lemmings.
Lemmings, yes.
God, you're so good, Mike. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and there he is, Mort. Fashion icon.
I don't remember Pesty, but I remember Mort,
Pesty,
of course.
the Bush brother.
But they don't even have Bazooka Joe in there. Where's Joe?
No.
I don't remember Pat or Tuffy either, just Mort.
Yeah, Pat, the pregnant child, and Tuffy, the one-eyed soldier.
My friend, you know Frank Santapadre, right, Molly?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I felt like you knew him for some reason. He used to be the co-host of Gilbert's show.
Oh, okay.
So
I've never met him, no.
I've known him for years, and he used to write for those comics.
Oh, really?
He's the true journeyman. He used to write for them. He used to write wacky packages. And he's done everything, every form of writing and stuff like that. He's a really interesting fellow.
I feel like doing the Bazooka Joe comics must have been like proto tweeting. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole separate skill because it's super short form.
Well, you're right. That's right. He used to also write for Mad Magazine and those kind of things. Now that I think about it, I was like, it was so. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
That's pretty cool.
Or maybe no, he wrote. Did he write for Mad or Cracked? I can't remember.
I'm sure he wrote on some of my favorite popsicle sticks.
That's right. Yeah, he used to write in those Dixie cups too. Yeah, he's true what you would call a journeyman, and he's so knowledgeable about everything. That's why there would be no Gilbert show without him, because Gilbert would just kind of laugh and just be there. But Frank put the whole show together, and then he would know so many facts. He's like they'd have somebody, I don't know, Leslie Nielsen on or something, when he's 90. And he's like, Gil, don't you remember in 1920 he played the Avenger in that movie from the he know everything. It's amazing. We've had him on the show before.
He's asking Leslie Nielsen about Forbidden Planet. Meanwhile, Gilbert's just doing his Marlene Madeline imitation.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what the show was, but that's why it was kind of fun. Gilbert might have been the last guy that could get away with that.
I know. God rest his smutty soul.
Yeah. Well, right. And of course, the best story of all. So someday, I don't know if you ever want to, I don't know. That story, it's your babysitter, right?
It was my babysitter. Yeah. I actually talked about this on the Storyworthy podcast with Christine Blackburn. But that was wild. Yeah. Gilbert and my babysitter, Barbara, mixing it up for multiple episodes on the Howard Stern show.
Right.
Because
but your mom was inviting him to her house because
she invited him over for dinner because they're friends. And
did she like him?
No, she didn't like him. They were just friends. They worked together on Look Who's Talking To, and she thought he was hilarious, but also, he's sick in the head. So I guess he called her up. He was in town. He was like, what are you up to? She's like, I'm making dinner. He was a cheapskate. So he was like, oh yeah, what are we having? She was like, do you want to come over? He was too cheap to call for a cab, so she sent my babysitter to pick him up. And I guess on the way back to our house, she, told him that her parents were Holocaust survivors because she would share the story often and get a lot of pity for it. And Gilbert just started making Holocaust jokes all night long.
It's one of the greatest stories ever.
Yeah, she blew up his spot on Howard Stern because she was a big Stern fan. She looked exactly like Howard when she had admitted this. And, they were sparring for episodes, and he would make lewd jokes about me when I was a kid, saying you wanted to give me a bath and stuff.
He would?
Yeah, and then he called the house, and I was like, "What did you say about me on this Stern show?" And he was like, "I said you have a big hairy cunt," and then he hung up on me. He was just the fucking best. He was just funny.
The best is after all that was resolved, and it'll never be resolved. It's still funny that she was blamed for doing it, because why would she even for a minute think that was a good plan to get sympathy from Gilbert? Like, that's not knowing your audience. And also, everybody blamed her. When
she really
in any other case, it would be the other way around. Like, Gilbert, you're a horrible person, but everybody knew, like, why are you baiting him? Almost like, this is on you, Miss Babysitter. And didn't she have an accent? Like, didn't she have,
she was German. She was raised in Munich. Her parents were Holocaust survivors. She actually did kill herself when I was like a teenager. She
killed herself?
Yeah, because I mean, there's a very high suicide rate for children of Holocaust survivors. But I think that was probably the high point of her life, was sparring with Gilbert on the Stern show. I think she really secretly loved it and liked him and thought the whole thing was kind of funny.
What do you think she? I know you said a Holocaust survivor and stuff, which is so weird, Molly, because I've been trying to figure out, and I talk about this a lot, that all the Holocaust survivors we've seen, whether they be on TV or whether you meet them in real life, the truth is about not just being a child of parents of Holocaust survivors, but they lived life to the fullest. They were happy. None of them were like those motherfuckers. I've never seen anything like it. I don't understand it. We'll never understand it. And yet you're saying the kids from these Holocaust survivors can't deal with it.
Her parents were abusive to her and her sister because they were traumatized.
Right.
So, like, it's not that they were bad people, but they had been through so much that I think that, like, they weren't always great to their kids.
I didn't know
that. They stayed in Munich after the war, too. I think they were just like, fuck this, we're not leaving. We're staying here.
I didn't realize, but she was not Jewish. She was not. No, she was Jewish.
No, she was Jewish. She was German Jewish.
I didn't realize that it ended that way. I didn't know that's.
It was sad. It was very tragic. That's why I love every year on her birthday. Her birthday is on Valentine's Day, and she always hated Valentine's Day. So every year on her birthday, I like to reshare those episodes to just sort of keep her memory alive, because she was funny. She was the darkest, weirdest person. Like, I give her as much credit as my mom for the person that I am, because she was just insane.
Well, she was badass in the sense of just sparring with Gilbert at all and just yelling at him. It was great.
She would pick fights with people at restaurants. She picked a fight with someone at a Sizzler. She picked fights with a fat dude at Jacopa's Pizza.
Wait, are you talking about me or her now? I'm getting.
I guess you two would have gotten along.
I don't know whether you know, but the people, anonymous people, Jenny and Marcy, they listen to my podcast. I have multiple episodes where I go to this place called the Isle of Capri here, and they will not give me Parmesan cheese. I can't stop talking about it because the Parmesan cheese is on the hostess stand, and they're like, "No, you go. You have enough cheese." And I'm like, "But I want more. I like having the Parmesan cheese." No,
that's
they won't give it to me. So
she got into a huge fight because she liked this one restaurant. She wanted them to put her Caesar salad in a bowl. They wouldn't put it in a bowl. They put it on a plate, and all of a sudden, friendships that lasted for years were just like dissolved immediately.
She obviously had problems.
Yeah.
Oh, Anonymous, you've been to Isle of Capri. Well, Anonymous, you probably just don't like chicken parm. So they're known for their chicken parm. Do you like chicken parm, Molly?
It's all right. It's
all right.
good.
See, I'm not taking you there.
To me, that's like that's a dude sandwich. It's like, that's a dude standby, where it's like I'm getting a chick parm, and it's like I'm a kind of a stereotypical chick sometimes, where it's like, I'll get the green salad.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned it that way. I'd never heard of it that before, but that makes a heck of a lot of sense, because when I went there and I knew the owner and I know her daughter now just a little bit, and the first time I was there, or the second time, the daughter came to the table and I told her the story of how I met her mother and everything, and she goes, and we're here for the chicken parm, and the woman goes, and she's around maybe 10 years younger than me, and she goes, well, actually my 12-year-old son is having his birthday downstairs with 12 of his friends, and they all ordered 12 chicken parms. You know, that's all.
They know what's up.
You might be right. It is a boys. It's definitely a boys' dish. Although my niece likes it, which is why.
I don't mean to, because it's like
No,
it's not cool
it's
to make
hilarious. It's a
gendered
great
statements anymore.
No, that's a great statement. I
Um,
love it. Well, I told everybody, or maybe I didn't tell everybody here, but again on the podcast, I went on a date with this girl who was age appropriate, which is odd for me. And she's like, I'm like, well, we could go to this Isle of Capri. And she's like, what do they have? I'm like, chicken parm. I'm like, I love chicken parm. But then, when we got there, it was early because, all the restaurants they told you are closing here early all the time. It's driving me crazy. And we were there at 5:30. I'm like, well, this is going to be great. We can take our time because I'm not doing reservations at 8:30 anymore because I keep getting kicked out. And she's like, no, we already know what we want. I'm like, well, we should look at the menu anyway. Maybe I'll get an appetizer. Maybe I'll get some wine. No, we know what we want. 2 chicken parms. It was like, she was like Jack Nicholson and As Good as It Gets. Waiter,
Okay.
we'll have 2 soft shell crabs.
I love that scene. It's perfect. It's so
I'll tell your waiter.
That's like my 8-year-old at restaurants before we were like, you don't do that.
I know, and it's hard to watch. It's so well put together. It is really great. And he's like, do you want beer? And she's like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
They both won Oscars for that one.
I love that movie because
and your dad's in that movie.
He is.
He's the hero. He comes in to save the day.
Yeah. I love watching him.
Don't worry. I have been paid by an anonymous donor. Everything is going to be okay.
Mr. Udall wants to be billed.
This is all coming out of my wife is the publisher.
Yeah, now I'm remembering. I forgot. Yeah, your dad. Like it's kind of like, why do you suppose he did that scene? I mean, I get like there were certain things like he's in that and Baby Boom, and there were very small parts.
And Knocked Up too. Knocked Up, he played Seth Rogen's dad. I feel like Harold loved to just show up for a day and have some fun and not be too committed to anything
I
that he wasn't like writing.
Baby Boom, I was surprised because it was such a small part. And, he was my hero. And then I was like, maybe he just wants to show off that he can act or something. And I don't even know whether he could because he's always kind of the same, but it didn't matter to me. He was perfect in everything all the time. And, I
he was great in Orange County. Did you ever see him in Orange County?
The what?
Orange County, Harold in Orange County. He plays the dean and they accidentally dose him with ecstasy. And it's a really great performance.
I never saw that one.
It's funny. It was written by Mike White.
But that isn't that a play?
No, it was a movie.
But it wasn't a play first?
Was it a play first?
Or
I don't know. It's the one with Jack Black.
Is Meryl Streep in it?
No.
Catherine O'Hara's in it.
Okay, wait. There's a maybe it's called the August of Orange County or Osage, maybe Osage County or something like that. It was a play that they made a movie. Something.
I don't remember.
All right, I never saw that movie. But your dad, I used to watch SCTV before all that stuff, before Animal House and everything. And which one is that? That's when he's on X?
He's on ecstasy, and all of a sudden he starts getting really like, he thinks he's more familiar with these kids than he is. And he's like, sure, I'll get you in. And by the time they get to his office, he's like, who are you people? But like, when he's on the ecstasy, it's such an adorable performance because he goes from being like this Mr. Reserved, to all of a sudden he's like, Sean, you're the same height as me. That is me.
See that. Anonymous put that August Osage County. You can see where I messed that up a little bit. That was a play made into a movie.
Oh, okay.
No one cares.
That does not star Jack Black.
Oh yeah, see, Anonymous is saying Baby Boom. It makes everybody want to move to Vermont and meet a veterinarian.
That's what all my friends said. I was like, I'm gonna meet a handsome vet. I'm gonna make some applesauce. I also love Baby Boom because it's like me watching Harold see a career woman with a baby and just being like, I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah,
like this tracks.
Yeah, this is my life.
Experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember watching the movie and I was so excited he was in it, and then I was like, "That's it." I was kind of upset.
I was more annoyed that it's like look, this high-powered businesswoman has no idea how to change a diaper. Like, she doesn't know how 3 tabs of Velcro work. It's like infuriating when movies try to be like, look at how
I know.
bad
but
they are with this baby. And it's
Well, I
like,
also
no one's
like it
this
because
bad.
James Spader played the villain as usual, and he's just so good. And he was like, "Well, I had already given the project." It's just
Yeah.
he's my favorite. In fact, I heard the other day that I used to watch The Blacklist. It's going off the air, I think. I don't know, maybe tonight or next week. It's the last episode,
Really?
and I stopped watching after the 4th season. Oh, there it is. I stopped watching after the 4th season because that woman who was in it was the worst actress I'd ever seen. But people told me they finally killed her off. Megan Boone, that was her name. And but they told me last night that apparently James Spader's got his own private pilot. And last night they showed who it was because they would always show the back of his head, and it's Andrew McCarthy. It made me so happy. I like that they're still friends, from Mannequin.
That's nice. I like when Mannequin relationships endure.
Well, they did Pretty in Pink and then Mannequin,
Mhm.
and now he directs a lot of the Blacklist. I don't know why that makes me happy, but it does.
That's cool. He's a great character actor because he has resting douchebag face.
James Spader?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he was so pretty back. I
He
watched
was
Wolf
pretty.
the other day. Oh, look at them! Yeah, isn't that great? In the city.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice.
Blaine, what are you doing? I mean, you really think I'd treat my parents' house like this if I gave her shit? Yeah, why don't you take a shower? You look like shit. Okay. Blaine, what do you? I think Bill and Joyce would be a little ticked off about this. Really, listen, date whoever you want. Go get your low grade piece of ass, but you're not going to have any friends when you're through, buddy. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
I like these Dave Juskow solo ratings of movies. I feel
Thank
like
you.
this could also be. You could do like Zoom table reads where it's all you, like the Brady Bunch.
Well, how mad do you think I got during COVID when they were doing them without me? They doing Fast Times and all that kind of stuff without me. I mean, and that the actors they had, I don't know whether your mother was involved with that. They stunk. It's like they never even saw the movie.
She wasn't involved with that. It was more
Thank
just
God,
like they're
who's that
doing the
idiot?
thing
The
and I'm
Matthew
showing
McConaughey, as he stunk. It's like they never even saw the movie. Jennifer Aniston, what is it? What was happening? It was pissing me off to no end.
It didn't have the edge.
No,
It's hard
it
on
did
Zoom.
And it's just, resting douchebag face, Liz. Liz, where were you? We're making fun of Canada before. Anyway, Molly, thank you so much once again for joining us. You are,
Thank you for
as
having me.
always, an absolute delight.
Aw. Thank you, sir.
The only flaw was letting your kid upstairs. But
yes, I usually chain her up in the backyard, and she must have chewed through the leash or something.
Well,
so sorry about that.
If she wasn't so adorable, it would be an issue.
Okay,
But
cool.
we can let it go. But
Thank you.
what are you doing these days? Are you performing?
I am. I was actually gonna go hit up the. I think there's an open mic nearby in Burlington at a place called 126, the 126 Diner or something like that. So I was gonna hit that up this week. I hear there's a lot of really cool comics there. This guy Colin Doyle, who's also a really funny comedian who bounces back and forth between Vermont and New York, has been really kind to me. He put me on the Vermont Comedy Festival in September. I think it was, when was it? No, maybe it wasn't in September. It was probably, it booked in September and it was like in December or whatever. But he hooked me up with some local people. So it'll be good to do comedy again. And I'm also playing a little music with some local musicians. So that's been cool.
Oh, cool.
Just sticking around while the strike is in effect and noodling things over in a way that doesn't violate the terms of anything. So that's all I got.
Well, I look forward to you coming back to town. I mean, I'd love to see you do comedy one time.
Yeah, me too. It was also just fun to hang. But if I know when I'm coming back, then I'll try to put some spots together. I'll hit up Sheba Mason because I would love to annoy her when I'm in town.
Yeah, well,
I know. Yeah, Sheba.
She asked me to do her podcast the other day, and I'm like, I don't know. I just can't do it. But Molly, thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody is saying you're the best. Fun show.
Aw.
Thanks, Molly. Liz is like, I'm sorry, I missed Molly. Jenny Cohn says,
Aw.
F yeah, Molly.
Thank you all for
So,
listening. Thanks for having me back
you are
on. I always
beloved.
love this.
All right. Molly Heckerling, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Molly.
All right, have a good one.
And yes, we'll say goodnight on my own here. And Molly is really the best. And I know you all like her as much as I do. And she's just a pleasure to be around. Actually, this is all just like she's not like this, like in real life. This is just like her television presence. In real life, she's kind of a bitch. Oh my God, she's still here. She can hear everything.
It's true.
Anyway, Mike, where are you going to be?
This Thursday in Laugh Out Loud San Antonio, I'll have my headline show. Then I go back.
Oh,
to the
right.
city.
Congratulations. That's exciting. I saw that on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. And then Retrospective Promenade. Go check that out. The last episode was Fresh from the 90s.
And what's this episode coming up?
Well, the next one coming out is Fresh.
Oh, I know we talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Next week, we will also be next week. This weekend, I'll be at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, everybody, opening for Rachel Feinstein. So if you, for some reason, happen to be down the Jersey Shore this weekend, come down. Both shows start at 9 o'clock. It's a little late for someone like myself now, but I will be there at, of course, July 31st. Be right here at the Comedy Cellar, 7:35. Next week will be virtual again here in my unbelievable apartment. And on Billy Joel this week, and I apologize again in advance, we're wrapping up the Greatest Hits Volume 3. We kind of did it as a joke, but I don't think anybody's finding it funny. Pretty sure the next 2 episodes kind of blow because the next one after that's Weekend Song, and that song sucks. But whatever. That's what's happening in the world of Mike and Dave. And again, thanks to Molly. Thanks for all you guys. Bye, Jenny. Bye, Liz, Anonymous, Marcy, Aunt Judy, Catalina, Scruffy, and a week late. Thanks so much for being here this week. And we will see you all at the same time next week, right here on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. Good night, everybody.